What is going on, guys? Welcome to my review of the Cyrusher Ranger. Now I reckon this is definitely the best bike I've seen so far from Cyrusher. Full suspension, 26-inch fat tyre. The key feature that I absolutely love about this, apart from the green colour, which I think looks absolutely sick, is it has actually got torque sensing on the pedal assist. I'm going to go more into details about that as we go for a ride. We're just going to get straight into it, but what a good looking bike. I've actually got to go to the bank today to pay in a cheque, so for what better opportunity. It's probably the first day that it hasn't actually rained in about 2 weeks. And off we go. Right, starting off with throttle. Talking of throttles, let's talk about legalities. This bike comes shipped as 250 watts, no throttle. Now they do supply a throttle for off-road use in the box. I've taken the opportunity to fit the throttle for the sake of the review. However, I prefer the pedal assist on this. So why do I prefer the pedal assist? Now this bike, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, has got torque sensing pedal assist, which is a massive thing. I absolutely hate pedal assist. I believe it's pretty dangerous. Let me give you an example. You can get a perfectly legal by law 250 watt e-bike with a cheap pedal assist with no torque sensing, as a lot don't have. And say you go for a little turnstile or you're doing a little manoeuvre on the pavement near the road, the bike will give you the whole 250 watts. No matter how hard you pedal, it will just throw the power on full, which I believe is incredibly dangerous. The law doesn't really go into a lot of detail really, so, you know, I think common sense comes into play. And I'd rather have my own common sense. I'd rather have my own common sense than go by a law which could potentially be dangerous. I think non-torque sensing pedal assist should maybe be illegal rather than limiting power, because if you've got control of power, then it's safe, in my opinion. It's no different to having a fast motorbike. As long as you've got experience and you roll the throttle on gradually, it's going to be safe. Having low power but getting all of it at once, to me, is incredibly dangerous. But anyway, it's going off the subject. This video today is about this bike, and I've ridden this 2 miles to the filming location before we start, and I absolutely love the torque assist on it. For some reason you can go faster pedaling than you can with the throttle. The throttle seems to max out way before the pedal assist does, which is good because it encourages you to pedal, but at the same time it's got enough power where it's not too taxing. So I think this is a perfect kind of general rounder e-bike for so many people. Now on the website they say that this is for 5'7" to 6'6". These bikes are massive. I'm not going to lie, the Cyrusher bikes are so large. They're like rolling tanks, but they're proper beasts. They've got the power to, you know, it's not the quickest e-bike in the world, but it's definitely got more than enough power to carry its own weight. And they say a rider up to, I think it's 150 kilograms, which is pretty damn decent considering the bike's a bit of a unit on its own. I mean, look at the size of it. I'm 5'6", like I said. Their recommended height, excuse me, I'm getting over COVID. Their recommended height is 5'7" to 6'6", and that's probably about right. I mean, I'm absolutely fine. I'd happily ride this. I mean, if you don't mind big bikes, you could probably be 5'4" and still enjoy riding this if you don't mind a big bike. But they are big. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you feel like a tank rolling along the road. But I just think it's such a good looking bike. I know I've said it already, but I love this colour green. It also comes in white and I think black, so you've got 3 colour options. 26 by 4-inch fat wheels. I've done a little U-turn because I'm just rolling because it's a little bit of a hill. So throttle only. Pulls away pretty gently. Now torque sensing, if I just gently turn the pedals, we're doing 6 miles an hour. I'm not touching the throttle at all for any of this bit now. So 6 mile an hour, crease it a little bit more. Now I'm doing 9, 10. Pedal a little bit harder. Huge surge of acceleration up to 15. Now if you really keep on it, you're getting a mixture of your own pedal power, and everyone knows you can pedal faster than 15. And it absolutely flies along. Hammering in it now. Right, we are off road at the moment, we're not on road. And we're going uphill, and I just hit 28 mile an hour without an issue. Arguably, the majority of that's coming from my own pedal power with a little bit of help. Yeah, I actually prefer our generic e-bikes and e-bike kits without torque sensing on the pedal assist. I will just use throttle for the safety's sake, that I can apply as much power as I think safe. It's no different to having a motorbike with a throttle that goes to 100%. Like, how can you ride something where it's just 100% as soon as you hit? Do you know what I mean? Hit the throttle, hit the pedal assist, it gives you all the power. Makes no sense, even if it's only 250 watts. So I'm not going to go too off subject on that. And it is related to this bike because it's great. You've got the ability to control the amount of power, but just using your feet. You ain't got to worry about throttle. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to be using the throttle on this because the pedal assist is that good. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm just cruising along now between 5 and 12 miles an hour, gently turning the pedals. And if I pedal hard, you really feel it. Right, as I said, we're off road. I've got a cyclist up ahead. I'm probably going to end up catching him up. Starts off flat and then it goes downhill. So I think we should see if this goes a little bit quicker than 27 with me pedaling. I'm the one putting most of the power into it. It's just giving me a little bit of assistance. And here we go. Ooh. Oh, it's made my eyes water, that is. Yeah, 30 miles an hour. So for those of you who want to use this bike off-road, I'm demonstrating all its abilities today. And yeah, its shifts are a big bike. It really does lay the power down absolutely fine. Full suspension, which I haven't bothered tinkering with. Got a little bit of a cushioning on the front. Pretty stiff on the back. Probably could adjust it, but I mean, with these big 26x4 fat tyres, I don't think you need to. You get enough cushioning. The seat's comfy. The tyres are going to give you almost the effect of suspension. It's really comfortable. No negative points about the bike at all yet. Now you've got front light on it. What features it got? You've got lights that are just a switch on the handlebars. I'm not sure if you've got a rear light on it. They may have put one in the box, but I don't. Let me see if it's got the wire for it. I don't see a wire for like a brake light, rear light, but it's definitely got the front light. It may well have had a battery operated backlight in the box, which I haven't fitted. But you can turn the headlight on from the handlebars. You've got a little horn. I've actually had to use that horn already today because the car pulled out in front of me. Although not the most scariest, manliest horn in the world, it done the job. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it's pretty muddy, so I don't really want to go off-road too much. But this is kind of like loamy woodland area. And it's really comfortable. And I'm sure we could go a lot faster being that it's off-road. The only other thing I personally don't like about pretty much all e-bikes that you can buy is the brake cutout. Now, for a lot of people it might be a good safety feature. For me, being a motorbike rider, I like the ability to feather the brake while accelerating, which might sound counterintuitive, but that is an actual method of rolling into a bend with speed and actually handling better. I like the ability to be able to have throttle and brake at the same time. As counterintuitive as that sounds, that is an actual technique. I'm pretty sure you could disengage it by just pulling out the plugs of the brake levers. It depends what you find safer. I mean, I totally get that you might want to cut the power, but it's no different to riding a moped or a motorbike around. You put the throttle on when you need it, and when you don't, you turn it off. Do you know what I mean? It's, to me, again, it's common sense. Sometimes common sense might override the law being slightly safer, which is obviously an argument in itself. But I do think the e-bike laws need revising, for sure. Just stopped off for a lovely coffee, but I want to say a shout out to Florence, the little Staffy, 12-week-old pup, really cute, I saw her in the shop. Definitely couldn't resist saying hello to the little pup. If you want to check out the TikTok account of Florence, the cute little Staffy pup, I'll put the link up on the screen now. Flying. Worth pointing out as well that the bike arrives in the UK limited to 15 mile an hour. It's actually got a Bafang motor on the back, which I think the nominal power is 750 watt, but it's limited to 250 watt, 15 mile an hour as it enters the country. For anyone wishing to de-restrict this bike, it is possible if you want to use it off-road. We're not condoning the use of more than 250. If you're using it off-road, simply remove the plastic cover. You'll find instructions on YouTube to do it if you want to do it. I think it's a red wire. Just pull the connector apart, that's it, it's unlocked. But yeah, I really love this bike. It's really decent. Let's do a little brake test, see what the brakes are like. Going for both brakes, checking behind. Yeah, hydraulic brakes more than adequate for this big heavy bike. And it is heavy, all e-bikes are heavy. Sometimes people have got unrealistic expectations. They expect it to be light, ridiculous range. Again, talking about range, I think they put the range down at 50-something miles. I don't know, maybe using pedal assist, you might get somewhere close-ish to that, but normally, like cars MPG, they're not realistic in everyday use. But I rate the range should be really good on this. Another great thing about this bike, it's got a 20 amp hour, 52 volt battery, so I think that's somewhere in the range of about, trying to do the maths in my head, about 1,040 watt hours, which is absolutely amazing. I find it really unusual that with the throttle, that's full power. If I let go of the throttle now and pedal, it goes much faster on pedal assist, which is crazy, but it definitely encourages you to yeah, it definitely encourages you to pedal this bike because you go faster by pedaling. Personally myself, I use a bit of throttle like now to get going and then take over the pedaling. I've got to be honest, I'll use the throttle from a safety standpoint. I'll use the throttle to get going off the line, and I'll just leave it in one gear and then take over with a pedal assist. I find that personally the safest way to ride this bike myself. Each to their own if you prefer it a different way. I'll give you an example now. So I've got this, I think this is a drivetrain on this is a 1x9 speed, so I've left it in 9th gear, which is a little bit difficult to pull away, so I'll twist the throttle and then take it off after a second, pedal as hard as I can. Yeah, look. Now we're flying along. Massive potholes. I would go as far as to say the potholes in this country are more dangerous than e-bikes. You can see the difference in a normal bike, struggling to get up this hill. I'm barely trying. We're doing 40 miles an hour. I'm giving the lightest amount of pedaling possible. Yeah, let's give a summary of this bike then. I mean, I can't see any downsides. I mean, the only thing, the price is a lot of money. I think this is currently retailing UK at 2,000 £799, which is a lot of money for an e-bike. And it's kind of not at the same time, because if you're looking at main bike manufacturers like Bike and all the other big brands, you can easily spend that on a kind of mediocre mid-drive, you know, hardtail mountain bike, so, or a very, very cheap full suspension. So I think you're getting a lot for your money with this. Full suspension, fat tyre, Bafang motor, which is obviously a pretty well-known brand, really good range battery, horn, lights, full colour screen. The ability to unlock it's quite easy if you want to use it off-road like that. You know, a lot of mid-drives you have to go and get some fancy magnet kit or do something complicated to unlock it. This is nice and easy. No worries. Hey, you alright? Yeah, it's good. It's decent bit of kit, and I suppose that's why some money it is. I mean, the frame's really nice, the design's chunky, aluminium, hydraulic brakes. Go for a high speed run, 15 miles an hour. Oh look, I can't go faster with the throttle. I let go of the throttle, immediate surge of power. Amazing, 15 miles an hour. Getting actually out of breath a little bit now. Trying to stay consistently at top speed. You have to pedal a little bit firm. You do get a workout, but it's so much faster than a conventional bike. Highly recommend this bike. You're not going to get that level of torque. The torque sensing is a massive selling point on this bike for me. After riding various different e-bikes, it's like a huge thing to have on the bike. It's worth buying for that alone almost, but I just think it's a really good looking bike. Right guys, I think that's it for this video. Really impressed with this bike. It definitely comes with a Dude Stuff stamp of approval. Like if you want to get something that's an all-rounder, this thing will do some trials, like, you know, off-road kind of dirt roads. It's going to do your town stuff. It's going to do some light off-roading. You're not going to be sending this over massive jumps, but as with most hub drives, they're not, you know, they're good to a certain extent off-road. If you're looking at doing massive jumps, I suggest getting a normal bike, you know, or a, you know, specifically built mid-drive, only if you're doing some seriously heavy landings. But this is a really robust bike. It's just a good all-rounder. It's fast, it's good looking, it's comfortable, the range is good. Hats off to Cyrusher, they've built a decent bike there. I think I've reviewed one or two of their bikes previously, but this one's definitely their best one to date for sure. I highly recommend it in the green colour. It's my favourite, but personal preference. I'm going to leave the link to the description for this bike in the video description. Don't forget to check that out. There may potentially be discount codes in there as well, so you can save yourself a bit of money. This bike will be on my Facebook page in the video description, because I've got way too many bikes. I would love to keep it, but too many bikes, too many projects, not enough space. Awesome bit of kit. Highly recommend going out and buying one. And I'll see you guys in a video soon. Take it easy.